There's something that I crave about being back home and getting into a routine. I just love that feeling of getting up, going to the gym, being productive. And here is lunch. Okay, let's do a haul. That is the basics of how I plan a trip. So after 3 months of traveling around Australia, New Zealand and a bunch of other places, I have finally made it back home. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of a bittersweet feeling because I have never been happier than when I'm traveling. We had the time of our lives, but there's something that I crave about being back home and getting into a routine. I just love that feeling of getting up, going to the gym, being productive, but also just like resting, enjoying time with family. I'm so excited to be back home. I actually don't have that long at home. I took a week to catch up on editing and tidy up all of my stuff, do the unpacking, the laundry, all of that, spend time with my parents, and now I have a week left to truly just get into a routine. I miss my healthy habits so much, so I signed up for a gym last week and have been getting back on that grind, and I've also been making an effort to meal prep some healthy meals for myself and also for my mum if she wants it. So I've just stopped through the shops to grab a few bits before I head to the gym, and I figured I would share. This week I want to make sweet potato bowls, so I got a couple of sweet potatoes for that. I'm going to do like a scrambled egg with like salad type of mixture. It's going to be really random, but I used to be obsessed with it back in the day, so I figured I would make it again. It's very healthy, high in protein, and really just like satiating. So I also got some avocados for that. I stocked up on some more peanut butter because I put this in my protein shakes every day, and then for the most part I had everything else that I needed already at home. So I just picked up a few bits that my mum requested. She wanted some halloumi. She's going to make like a halloumi quinoa bake this week. She also wanted some sun-dried tomatoes and some harissa paste. And then the only other thing that I picked up was some lip balm. I am honestly repurchasing lip balm all the time, and I don't have one that I keep in my car, and there's a lot of times where I'm driving around and wish that I had lip balm on me. It's so dumb, but it's kind of an essential to me, so I picked that up, and this is in candy apple, which is quite nice actually. So that is everything that I picked up. Like I said, I'm gonna go to the gym, get a good session in, and then once I get home I want to start meal prepping for the week. Okay, the only thing that I actually want to prep for this week is my sweet potato, and one of the reasons I love being at home is the air fryer. So I'm just going to chop up the potato, chuck it in the air fryer, and then the rest of the meals for this week are just going to be assembled as I want to eat them. Do 5 more minutes. That weekend. Okay, good morning. It is now Tuesday. I've pretty much spent my entire morning editing. I am still catching up on vlogs from my travels over the last couple of months. I am slowly but surely making progress, but I've been trying to carve out a good portion of my day every day to editing because I just want to get them done. They're so out of date now, but it's really fun going through all the memories and looking back at everything we did. I'm currently editing our Byron Bay vlog, which is where we got stuck in a cyclone. Honestly, I can't believe we actually lived through that. It's insane to me now to think we were in a hotel cooking food just in case we lost power that we could potentially eat cold, and dealing with having no aircon overnight because we would lose power, it would go on and off. It was insane to me. But today I actually have a workout class booked in half an hour, which is very new for me. I'm not really a classes person, mainly because I don't like having the time constriction. When I have days off, I feel like I have a really weird mentality around booking things. So if there's something booked in the middle of my day, I feel like my entire day revolves around that, and it kind of stresses me out. I don't really know how to explain it, but that's why I like to go to the gym and I just pick and choose when I go. I like to be in my own little world. I have my music blasting. I find that really enjoyable, whereas in a class situation I feel like there's more pressure because there's loads of people around you. If you need to take breaks, maybe people are going to judge you, and it's just kind of a bit more pressure in my opinion. But I wanted to push myself because one of the things that I literally never train is my abs, and I really want to strengthen my core. So I've booked a class called Ab Blast, I think, and I feel like it's going to be 30 minutes of hell, but I'm going to push myself. Like I said, I need to challenge myself, and I definitely need to start working out my core. So that's my plan for the next sort of like half an hour, 45 minutes. I'm going to do some cardio afterwards. I have been loving my incline walking. I've been doing this for months now, and it's the one thing that I have noticed results from. Almost every day I will walk on the treadmill at an incline for like 30 to 45 minutes. I read my book while I'm doing it. The time goes so quickly. I find it so enjoyable, and I've lost about 8 kilograms in the last sort of like 4 to 6 months with doing this regularly and trying to get back into it now that I'm back from traveling. So that's going to be my workout for today, and then I actually have to start planning the itinerary for the next trip because our next big trip is 8 weeks in the US, and I am the planner of the relationship. So I will go through, figure out our route, figure out, you know, all of the best places that we need to include. Obviously Harry has a lot of say. He gives me a list of the things that he definitely wants included, and I put those on the itinerary, but I need to get started on that. I've been procrastinating that quite badly. So a fair amount to do today. I'm going to finish getting ready and head off for my workout. Is lunch. So we have 3 scrambled eggs with some very garlicky spinach. I added some diced tomatoes and red onion for some crunch, avocado for healthy fats. I did some air fried sweet potato, and then a very generous scoop of cottage cheese just to add a little bit of extra protein but also that nice creaminess, and I topped it off with some sriracha. Okay, it's much later in the day now, but I really wanted to get some planning done because I'm such a procrastinator. Even when it comes to fun things like planning for trips, I tend to wait until I have a burst of motivation and then I just smash it all out in one go, and that is exactly what I'm going to do this evening. I can't actually remember how much I've kind of updated the vlog on trips and plans for the next few months. Basically, the reason that I took a year out of medicine was to locum, make as much money as I possibly could to fund a 6-month round the world trip traveling experience. So I've just completed Australia and New Zealand. The next big trip will be a 2-month trip to the US. We're going to do a road trip along the west coast of North America, and I'm so excited because a lot of these places I've never been to, and Harry also has never been to any of these places, so it's going to be really fun. In between now and then we also have a couple of smaller trips. So we're going to go to Germany to go on a little theme park adventure in Europa Park, and we've also got a week planned to go to Portugal, which I'm really excited about because I've never been to Portugal and it's been on my list for a really long time. So I've got a fair few things to plan. With the smaller trips, I don't tend to need to really do a lot because obviously, like for example, Portugal, we're only going for a week. We've got 3 days in Porto and 3 days in Lisbon. So I will jot down a few things that I definitely want to do and see, but other than that there's not really any planning that goes into it, whereas the longer trips are obviously a lot more effort to plan. So at the moment all we've got booked for our US trip are our flights, so we know the date that we leave and the date that we come back and where we're leaving and coming back to and from, if that makes sense. So we're flying into San Diego and we are flying out of Toronto, and my job for today is to pretty much make a route and a rough itinerary so we know sort of how many days we are going to be staying in each place. I don't love to book a lot in advance because that means you've got no flexibility. You can't change your plans at the drop of a hat. So I would usually only book like the first hotel that we're going to, like right from the get-go, because I don't want to turn up and not have anywhere to stay. But I think we're going to do a little bit more booking for this one, mainly because a lot of the places I want to go to I know are going to be extortionate if we book less in advance, and also I feel like a lot of places will get really booked up because I think we are going during school holidays. So first things first, I'm going to make the route like I said. So I do everything on my iPad. I find it so useful to be able to have a picture of a map and just draw on it, especially when I'm making my basic route. So I will show you how I get started with organising these things. So I use an app called GoodNotes on my iPad to organise all of my travel itineraries and routes and planning and all of that kind of stuff. So as you can see, this is how I planned my Australia trip. I use a combination of ChatGPT and social media to figure out places I want to go, recommendations people have, and a good route that makes sense. And I usually have a rough idea of what I want anyway. I just use those things to kind of help me. So especially with Australia, there were plenty of places that I had never heard of. I had a basic idea of where I wanted to go. I typed that into ChatGPT. I said, give me a route and add any other must-see places or must-do activities, and it helped with where I should go, added things in that I didn't know about. Like, for example, I had never heard of Daintree Rainforest, and then I used TikTok to help me with what I want to do day to day in each place. So I basically went through the exact same process to come up with a vague route for the US. Again, because both Harry and I have never been to most of these places, I wanted to make sure we're not missing anything off. And because in this area with like the Grand Canyon, other national parks in Arizona and Utah, there's a lot of like complicated roads and routes there, I formed another map that was just like a zoomed in version so that I could make it clear which national parks we're going to, in what order, the route, etc. And then I'm going to use New Zealand as an example of how I organise how long we're actually going to stay in each place for. So again, I just screenshot a calendar, I insert it into this notebook, and then Harry and I will go through each place on the route and figure out how long we want to be there. Again, it just takes some Googling and some looking on social media to see how long people recommend in each place. TripAdvisor is also quite helpful in terms of reviews and stuff people will suggest. Like, for example, I had planned to have like 3 or 4 days in Milford Sound, but we actually did not need that in the slightest. Most people just recommended going there for the day and doing the cruise, which is what we ended up doing. We don't book hotels in advance, like I said, so if anything changed and we wanted, for example, longer in Wanaka, we could have had longer in Wanaka because we hadn't booked any of our campsites in advance, purely for flexibility, so we could be a little bit more spontaneous. So that is the basics of how I plan a trip. I'm actually going to take my coffee upstairs and do a little bit of editing from bed this morning. Okay, I'm starting to feel like I'm finally getting on top of my editing, so I'm going to take a bit of a break and head to the gym for an upper body session, and then I have a couple of errands to run. I need to pick up some packages and just pop to the shops, so I'm going to do that this afternoon and then probably get back into the editing wormhole. Yeah, I just have a package to pick up. Okay, errands have been successfully run. I picked up my new look package. I also picked up a couple of other bits I knew I was going to need for my upcoming trips. So first things first, I picked up some of the girly bits. I knew that I needed more micellar water. This is what I use to remove my makeup while I'm traveling. It's just easy and it's nice on my skin. And then I picked up a new toiletries bag, mainly because the last one that I took when I went to Australia was just way too big and I need to pack lighter for the next few trips. So this one unfolds. It has the hook, which I found actually really helpful, and then you can see all of your products, and if there's no space to actually just put your toiletry bag, at least there's usually a hook to hang it from. So I picked that up from Superdrug. And then lastly, I did end up going into a charity shop for literally no reason, but I saw this jumper and I couldn't resist. It's a men's medium and it's just the perfect like worn in slouchy grey jumper, and I loved all the red on it, so I treated myself. It was £7.75, and I'll probably take that travelling with me because I love a comfy jumper that I can just throw on top of things, especially on a travel day. So that's everything I picked up. I will do a haul of everything I got from New Look, as well as an ASOS order that just came in, because those are just like a bunch of clothes that I've ordered for the next few trips, because I just wanted to update and upgrade my wardrobe a little bit, but I am starving. I'm craving burgers, so I'm gonna make a sort of healthier alternative. I'm gonna make lettuce burgers. So I've got romaine lettuce, and then these are my favorite veggie burgers. They're high in protein, 18 grams per burger, and I just find they taste the nicest. The texture's the nicest out of all of the veggie burgers that I've tried. So I'm gonna do those in lettuce wraps with some sort of veggies, and I'm so excited. I'm absolutely starving, and then I will shower and do a clothing haul. Okay, I feel like there's absolutely no way to make lettuce burgers look pretty, but these smell incredible. So we've got the Beyond Burger. I caramelized some onion as well as a slice of eggplant, oddly enough. And then I've got a slice of tomato, some cheese, some jalapenos, and some caramelized onion mayo. And I am so excited to eat this. Okay, let's do a haul. Starting with ASOS, I essentially ordered about 10 different pairs of black linen shorts because I think they're such a vibe for summer. They're lightweight, they're comfy, they go with everything. So I ordered a bunch of different sizes and a bunch of different styles, and these are the ones I'm gonna keep. These are the ASOS Design Petite Linen Shorts. I think they're so comfy, they fit really well, and especially when I'm traveling for quite a while and I still want to pack light, I try to go off of like almost a capsule wardrobe vibe, so lots of different items that could be paired with different items, if that makes sense. So those will be a staple. The only other thing that I ordered from ASOS was this bikini top. It's actually from New Look, but it was on sale on ASOS, so I got this, and then from New Look I got the matching bottoms, which were on sale in New Look. So instead of paying £31 for a bikini, I paid 19, and I just think that's a win. The other things that I got from New Look, I'm still on the hunt for a cute dress, and I really want a cute white dress for summer, but the issue with New Look is none of them are double lined, so they are all see-through, and pretty sure all of these are going to be returned. My favorite of all of them is this blue and white dress. I think it's so flattering. I love the corset detail and the puffy sleeves. I think it fits really well, but the issue, like I said, is it's see-through, so I feel like that's gonna have to go back. And then I also kind of liked this dress. I really just want to find a cute maxi dress that suits me, so I ordered this white one with little red flowers on it, but I feel like the sleeves aren't very flattering and it's way too long for me. I'm only 5 foot something, so I needed either like a petite sizing or a midi dress that would probably fit me as a maxi, so that one's being returned. I did order a couple of other dresses that just don't fit nicely and are completely see-through, so I'm not even going to bother to show those. And then the last thing that I got from New Look, which I will keep, are these white linen trousers. Again, super easy, comfy for traveling. So I think I'm gonna end off this video here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please subscribe for more, and I will see you in my next video, which will probably be the Portugal vlog. And then after that will be a lot more travel content, which I really hope you guys are enjoying, because this year is definitely shaping up to be my favorite year of my life so far, and I just love that I get to share it and document it. So I really hope you're enjoying it. But like I said, I'll see you in my next video.